Hello, hello, and welcome to the Mindset Bloomcast with Mallory. I'm your host, Mallory McGary. I'm the founder and CEO of Beautifully Blooming. You can find me at beautifullyblooming.com or email me at mallory@beautifullyblooming.com. You are listening to the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Radio, TV, and podcast, the #1 internet talk network. Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's episode. I'm super excited about this, especially since it is a new place I have delved into and have really realized the benefits of taking the extra steps, no matter if it's a personal, professional, a mix of both, whatever that looks like for you, into this new space. I've always created a space that has personal connections and everything like that, but creating business connections has been a lot more, not necessarily difficult, but not really something I realized how important it was in the long run. So today we're talking about finding your network, finding your people, finding those people you can reach out to in hard times, easy times, when you need to brainstorm, that just build you up in a different way than maybe your actual and current support system do. Not to say that those people in your current support system are not part of your network, because they are, but it's a different type of networking, a different type of community. So talking about this, first of all, we're going to talk personally and what that looks like, that you can find people in your network already, people that you communicate with, people that you know, are acquaintances with. Those are people considered in your network. And when I think of a network, I think of kind of a target, a bullseye, and the fact that the very center of that bullseye are those people that are the closest to you. They are the most intimate with you. Maybe that's family, maybe it's your really, really close friends, some really close coworkers. Those are the people you see all the time, communicate with all the time. Maybe you don't see them all the time, but communicate with all the time. They're people that are involved more on your day-to-day basis of life. They are in your life, they are present in your life, they are people that you would go to no matter what. And they are the people that support you in moving forward and what that looks like in your journey. Then you have the next ring, which is people that you associate with that may not be quite close enough to you to be on, get all those details, your everyday life details, but they are close enough to you that they know you, they see you, they do those things with you. They may be different coworkers that you've worked with, maybe they're past coworkers, maybe they are extension of your family, maybe it's your extended family, maybe it is those people that are friends of friends that that see every once in a while, but they're a part of your life, but they're not necessarily continually being in that present moment. They're not that continual growth strategy in your life that you could reach out to them if you needed something, but most of the time they're just kind of a little bit more on the outskirts. And then you have your last outer ring, which I call acquaintances. They are people that if you see them in the grocery store, you can say hi, you know them, maybe they're neighbors down the street you don't really know really well, people that you've gone to school with, people that you see passing in the hallways at your office. Those people you're cordial with, you know their name, you know maybe what they do, you know a little bit about them, vice versa, they know a little bit about you, but ultimately you don't know them very well, but you have enough rapport with them that you could reach out if needed. And so those personal, in your personal rings, those are the people that are going to get you little bits of places that you need. So building your network personally is utilizing those people on all those different rings. Maybe it's, if it's the farther outer ring of those acquaintances that you have a good rapport with, maybe it's catching up with them once in a while and just saying, hey, how are things going? What does this look like? I hope everything's going well. Just reaching out to them on a whole different level and creating more of that relationship, and that you have the moments to go forward, keep working together. If something comes up, you know you can rely on them. If it's a work problem, if it's a personal question that you've got, you have those people going into your life that are moving you forward and you can still stay connected because you never know where those are going to lead in the long run. The next circle are the people you're going to ask for maybe a favor for. Maybe it's, can I have you watch my kids? Can I borrow this something more than a cup of sugar? Can I borrow this for something? Or how it helps you grow in your life. You have a little bit more confidence and rapport to build with these people, that it says, I have the ability to ask you for a favor. If I need something, I can help. They're the people that maybe you say, I'm looking for a new job. Can you help connect me to here and here? I know you have friends here and here, type of thing. Or just help you get connected personally, of, I really want to be friends with this person, or I really want to work with this person. I really want to see what that looks like, and have them create that connection with you. And then your inner circle are those people that you're going to go to all the time and bounce off their network. You're going to be drawn in naturally on a personal level. You're going to be drawn in to different circles, different people's groups, different experiences, in that you're going to find more people to build into these circles, that they're going to be, oh, we have the same kids, the same age. So where do you go to school? You're going to talk about those type of things and create this rapport that says, will you be able to pick up my kid? And vice versa. We'll kind of switch that off. We'll create play dates. So now you have a different type of network based on that. But when you're drawn into these circles, it's an opportunity that you have to create those new relationships in life, in business, all of these things. And what it looks like on the outside is, it may seem like a really small thing at first to go and say, hey, for me, my name is Mallory. This is, I know so and so. How do you know so and so? Just kind of creating that type of thing in your life, because you never know where that's going to lead and how strong of that connection is going to be in the long run. Because before you know it, we're going to go back to the example of, we have kids the same age, that before you know it, you're in a whole different type of group of people that have the same kids the same age as you, and you're all going to the park together, or you all have play dates, or you've created this little system that's, on this day we're going to go to this person's house, on that day we're going to go here, and do all of these type of things. That's a whole new network that you have created personally in your life by just being a part of other people's groups and stepping into that. And when I say this, it's a lot easier to step into something personally, into a new network. And I speak from experience that it's easier to step into somebody's circle a little bit easier when it's a personal thing, when you're friends of friends meeting each other, or creating that, oh, we're all at this party together, we all got invited by the host, we know the host, and now we're just making connections that way. It's a lot easier to do that personally than it is to do professionally in that sense. So personally, it's easier to say, yeah, we can go to this party, we're going to meet some new people, we may interact with them later on, we may not, but we're meeting new people, we're creating those connections, those bonds. And I've heard a lot lately, and probably more so in the last 10 years than I had prior to, but the one thing that I always hear is, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And we're not discounting education and the things that you experience and things you know, because that is important for different things. But who you know gets you a little bit farther in different doors than just cold. Maybe you're cold emailing somebody, maybe you're cold calling somebody, cold DMing, whatever that looks like. You have that cushion of having that rapport with the person that is mutually connected to you, and they are able to take you one step further into what that looks like. So personally, it's easier to just be friends with, go to a party, meet a bunch of people you've never met before, and make those connections outside of that. And knowing, okay, if this person does, maybe a person you meet is a contractor of a sort, and you're like, oh, I have a problem with my house, I'm going to contact that person and reach out to them and see what they can do or how they can help me, where they can refer me, all those types of things, because those things are going to be what leads you into building more and more connections. Life is all about different connections, and you create them without really realizing it. On a personal level, you're creating them more so on the space that you have intention of just meeting people. There's not a purpose behind it. It doesn't feel quite as daunting to go out and do it for a personal aspect versus a professional aspect and what that looks like. And so you've built all these connections. We've done it since we were tiny, tiny, tiny. And moving forward into life as we keep going is that you're creating these connections. You're creating this network that you don't really realize is your network, that you may not really realize are people you can reach out to for a bunch of different things. And to get you to the next place that you want to be, you can rely on these people regardless of where they sit on your target, your network target. But you can get them to the next level. You can take yourself to that next level with that. So we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and talk about your professional network. You are listening to the Mindset Bloomcast with Mallory. I am your host, Mallory McGary. I'm the founder and CEO of Beautifully Blooming. You can find me at beautifullyblooming.com or email me at mallory@beautifullyblooming.com. You are listening to the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network radio, TV, and podcast, the #1 internet talk network. And we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Mindset Bloomcast with Mallory. I'm your host, Mallory McGary. I'm the founder and CEO of Beautifully Blooming. You can find me at beautifullyblooming.com or email me at mallory@beautifullyblooming.com. You are listening to the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network radio, TV, and podcast, the #1 internet talk network. We are back talking about creating your network. And we just talked about creating your personal network. We just talked about what that looks like, how you don't really take the initiative sometimes to realize that that is your actual network that you can utilize, and that they are people in your space that can get you to that next level. So going through that, you have two different types of networking. There's personal networking, which comes more natural, is more easy to go through, is less daunting than professional networking. And this is a world I recently stepped into. So I'm speaking from beginner experience in what this looks like, really kind of delving into what this looks like. And it's continuing on and growing as this process has happened. But from a beginner standpoint, it was very daunting for me. I've heard about professional networking events before. I've heard about what that looks like. It always seemed really overwhelming to me to go and just meet a bunch of different business owners. And I felt like I needed to have business cards and brochures and pamphlets and all the things that you see, maybe at a trade show, maybe at a convention type of a thing, where you have to promote yourself in a really what I'm going to call old school way. I put that in air quotes because it still works today. Part of that still works today, but feeling more of that you're going to be creating a booth for yourself. Really, if we're talking trade shows, that you're going to be creating a booth for yourself. You have to talk to a bunch of people, try and sell them on what you're doing, and try and get in their Rolodex, their just their world, right? And creating that type of space. It was really daunting. It was really overwhelming. And I've always wanted to do it, but it made me a little bit more nervous to try and do these things because I felt like I was not quite ready for that type of experience. And we're going to fast forward a couple years into last month. So this is very, very recent. Last month, I jumped in and decided that not only was I going to try this space out, find a place that is all for business, women business owners that it was going to be my people that I wanted to talk to, people I wanted to connect with, people I wanted to collaborate with, that I was going to not only jump into that space, but I was going to also sponsor this event and become part of their sponsorship, so that it helped force me into making sure that I actually go to the event, giving me my own accountability. And I'm not saying that this is a route for everybody, but this is my story, that it gave me the accountability to go and actually make this thing happen. So I did all of this stuff. I got everything ready for the event. And even going into the event, I knew no one that was there. I knew the host of the event. That's all I knew. I knew I was going solo, so that I didn't have kind of that crutch to lean on and stay in my own little circle. I made it so that I had to get out and meet people. And then I was feeling the overwhelming going, oh my gosh, I don't know what to think, what to say, who I'm going to meet, what this looks like, how I can collaborate with these people, all of these things. And it was very still daunting, but I went in with the mindset that I'm going to come out knowing at least 5 new people. That was it. That was my goal, is 5 new people. And this was an event of 50, 60 people. So it wasn't large and huge. So I wasn't trying to go over 200 people, but I was trying to meet 5 new people, create five new connections, expand my network by 5 people. So I get to the event, I go, it feels kind of awkward because kind of like the beginning of a party that you go to, you don't really know anybody. So you're just trying to feel this out and what that looks like. But as the night was going on, I made a lot more than 5 connections. I actually made 20. So I exceeded my goal, but it was also facilitated. That was also facilitated in the networking event itself. They created an atmosphere that was, you got in mini groups, kind of little mini speed dating groups. This is what they called it. So you got to meet so many people in such a short amount of time, find out what they did, find out who they were, and create those little sparks of connection. And that was something that really stood out to me. And this was the way that I never imagined what networking could be, is that it really is just going to a party and meeting new people and seeing what they do. It's just, it flips through a different lens of professional, because you're all business owners, or you're all, whatever your specialty is, you're all those type of people. So you have a commonality already. You're not creating that common ground before creating that network. You have a commonality in what that looks like, and moving forward into that space. So as I've gone through this past month, I've actually had some amazing experiences with some of the women that I met at this event. We have changed different ideas. We've brainstormed. Some were more party planning type of people. So we had like balloon arches, which are amazing. And it is coming up for my little girl's birthday, so that'll be a person that I utilize for that type of thing. Different businesses I didn't even know existed, such as real estate, like an estate sale, and how you can set that up. I never even thought that an estate sale could actually be a very functional and easy shopping experience, rather than throwing out everything on the lawn and having a yard sale type of thing, actually having something that is a really higher end shopping experience. There were people that I met that I didn't even know just certain businesses existed. Not that it's past a limited scope, but it just blew my mind in how they got into it. And not even that, there were people at this event that were just people that wanted to cheer on any business owner, and really expound and help them, lift them up into a whole new level. So all of these women that I've met, of all different places and things, that excited me into knowing that I've created now this network of people, and I want it to continue, because I don't know what I'm going to need when I'm going to need it and who I can reach out to for that type of thing. This saves me hours of Googling and reading reviews. It saves me a lot of time in finding referrals because I know that I can go to any one of these people and say, do you know somebody that does X, Y, and Z? And they can give me a referral or say, I don't, but this person might. Just hopping and bouncing around into different places in business has really excelled me into this new and lit me on fire in one of the most amazing ways possible. And so much so that I'm doing it again and again and again, and I continually do it again and again and again because I know that these things are going to be powerful. And when I've sat and reflected on my professional networking, I've realized how much more it becomes a personal network when I've walked the halls of a corporate office, that they are people that I meet every day. There are people I work with every day that know people that can get me to the next place that I want to go, that can help me move to the place that I want to be in. So I encourage you over the next little bit, if it happens, find a place that has a professional networking. If not, create one yourself. Create a space that is all about building your network, creating that space of people that you can go to for referrals, go to for help, ask for anything, and create them into your personal field as well. Don't keep the two separate. Don't keep personal and business separate. I know that that's a very, very fine line to walk. I do know that that's almost like walking across a tightrope, that it's so fine, but try and incorporate them. That maybe try and incorporate the thinking that creating a personal network, creating a professional network, sorry, is the same process as creating a personal network. And you got to go out on a limb every once in a while to get it a little bit bigger than what you had thought, and utilize that into creating this bigger web, this bigger space that supports you in what your goals are, in your goals, your dreams, wherever it is that you want to be in the next month, in the next 4 months, in the next 6 months, in the next year, whatever that looks like in moving forward, building up that web that's going to support you 100% through the movement of where your life is going to go. And going forward into that, I am opening the doors to my newest program. It is called the CEO Mom Reimagined, and we're going to talk about this a lot more in the next episode. But sorry, I'm pouring cereal into a bag for my little, because it's next time. But creating, we're going to talk about the CEO Mom Reimagined Club and what this looks like, because it is all about creating the foundations of having that network, finding those women that you can go to for ideas, brainstorming, different referrals, collaborations, moving forward, so that you are taking yourself and leveling yourself up along with this group of women that also is trying to level themselves up and getting to that space that you want to creating that six-figure business, to creating that six-figure life that you're dreaming of, whether it's based on your corporate goals. If have corporate goals, maybe it's having your own business, maybe it's trying to tie in both, whatever that looks like. But you are in a group of people that is helping you, one, establish a new network, two, giving you the space and the freedom to jump in and be exactly who you are, collaborate with, excel, and grow in what that looks like and moving forward. And also, you're going to be building those foundations that create a business that is able to pivot at any moment without you starting from scratch, building that six-figure business and what that looks like. So we're going to talk about that in our next episode. Hop in, join, send questions to Mallory@beautifullyblooming.com if you have anything that you really want to touch on, get clarity on what that looks like. But the doors are opening to that on August 1st. So we're going to get moving on that really quickly and jumping in, diving in, and exploring what it looks like to be a CEO mom that is all the things she's ever dreamed of, stepped into her leading lady life and become the star of her own show, and really is moving forward and redefining what CEO actually means and reimagining what that looks like. So we're going to talk about that next time. Please have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next time. You're listening to the Mindset Bloomcast with Mallory. I am your host, Mallory McGary. I'm the founder and CEO of Beautifully Blooming. You can find me at beautifullyblooming.com or email me at mallory@beautifullyblooming.com. You are listening to the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network radio, TV, and podcast, the #1 internet talk network. See you soon.